Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Fry, a woman's best friend. I want to welcome everyone in. For those who are joining live, go ahead and say hello as you come in so I can say hello back, and tell me where you're watching from tonight. And for those of you who are catching me in the replay, go ahead and use the hashtag replay and also tell me where you're watching from tonight. Tonight's topic is understanding the role of gratitude in your life. And all this week, my focus has been on gratitude and really kind of reconnecting with my own gratitude practice. I will say, just for those of you who are new to me, I'll tell you, gratitude is something that I have been in practice with for a while now. And it is something that took me a little bit of time to really get into, really understand the importance of gratitude, really understand what the role of gratitude was in my own personal life. And I will say, I will caution you here and say that, listen, it is a practice. You don't magically arrive. You don't suddenly get there and you made it and then that's it. Gratitude is something that you have to practice every day. It's often referred, I've heard the term gratitude muscle used, right? It's just like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. Well, that is very much the case with your gratitude practice. And I can always tell when I'm kind of getting out of my practice, or when I'm kind of maybe being a little lazy about it. Maybe I'm not being quite as intentional as I should be about it, because my mindset gets a little different. I am typically a pretty positive person, a pretty upbeat person. I try to really look for the good in things. And when I'm not in a consistent, I'll say, when I'm not in a consistent practice, my thoughts can tend to not be always on the sunny side. So, which is fine. Okay, listen, everyone is not going to be always on the sunny side all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. But the key here is to make sure that you get back to that. Okay. Recently, over the last few weeks, there have been some things that have occurred, mostly in my personal life, but some in other areas as well, along with everything that we are seeing and consuming in the media right now, that have really kind of put me in a place of, I've kind of fallen out a little bit of practice and have been really concerned and really consumed about some things, a lot of worry, if you will. Just uncertainty, not knowing kind of next steps forward, things of that nature. And that has taken a lot of my attention over the last couple of weeks. And so this week has been really good for me personally. And I'm really, I'm grateful that I'm able to share it with you as well. But this week has really kind of put me back in focus and making sure that I am taking the time to practice gratitude, that I am doing that. And let me tell you, there's a huge shift in my outlook, my mindset, the way I think about things as I'm encountering them this week versus last week. Last week, I was very consumed with worry and a lot of different things. And I kind of took this week to really remind myself that, no matter what is going on, it's up to me to really focus where I need to be focused. And I control what happens, right? I control what happens in my thoughts. I'm the master of my thoughts. And I can allow myself to sit in that worry. I can allow myself to wring my hands and be fearful of what's coming or of the uncertainty. Or when those things come up, I can choose to look at it from a different perspective. Instead of being worried about what might happen, I can choose to shift my focus on something that I'm grateful for, finding things to be grateful for. Sometimes it doesn't really feel like there's a whole lot that, sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes it really doesn't feel like there's a whole lot to be grateful for. Sometimes it just It just doesn't feel that way. And I understand that. Trust me, I understand that completely. But we have the power to choose our thoughts, and we have the power to course correct our thoughts when they start going down a path that's not really going to do us any good. It's not really going to serve us or serve our purpose or help others, or it's really just not going to make a good positive impact on us. We can choose to shift our thinking. And that's a lot of what I've been doing this week. And I've got to tell you, I have seen it over last week and this week. I've seen a huge difference. I posted earlier today that what you think about, you bring more of. What you focus on, you bring more of. If you are focused on worry and you are focused on uncertainty and you are focused on the negative, guess what? You're going to see a lot more of that. You're going to see a lot more of that manifest in your life because that is what you're focused on. But if you then take to the other side, which is what I have been doing this week, is, really getting back to being in gratitude, not just for the big things, but for the small things, for the little things. And ladies and gentlemen, listen, it doesn't have to be anything big. Sometimes it's the ability to open up a door for someone else. When you're in your gratitude practice, make sure that you pay attention to those things that don't necessarily directly impact you, right? That you don't get the first fruits. Maybe you're not getting the 100% benefit of it. I want you to really pay attention to those, because those are the things too that can manifest further along. So sometimes it's opening up a door for someone else. It's being able to use your contacts, your connections. Maybe someone and you can connect them with someone else, and great things can happen for that person. And while you may not get, a tangible benefit from it, you do benefit from that because it's your ability to help someone else. It's your ability to, make something awesome, open up the door for something awesome for someone else. And that feeds you. So while you're not getting, maybe the direct benefit, you are still getting benefit. So take those things into consideration. A friend gifted my family with something this week that was it was out of the blue. It was so incredibly kind. And I will tell you right now, I had tears because it was just simply unexpected, but it was needed. And I didn't even know that. I didn't even realize that it was needed. But they blessed me, which in turn really showed me, again, just even more confirmation that when you sow gratitude, it comes right back to you. When you are in a place where you're choosing to look for the good, you're choosing to find, the good, and you're choosing to believe that all things, no matter if it's positive, negative, however it is, whatever's coming at you right now, choose to take the mindset that all things are working for your good, even if you can't see it right away. And that is part of understanding the role of gratitude in your life. Gratitude has a huge deal to do with your mindset. It is life-changing, truly. And if you don't believe me, that's perfectly fine. Try it. I challenge you to try it. If you're watching this and you think, what? So what? What impact does gratitude have? I don't, if you're a skeptic, and that's perfectly fine to be a skeptic, I challenge you to try it. Spend the next 2 weeks. Spend the next week. Start slow, right? Spend the next week being very intentional about things to be grateful for. Be very intentional about it. And again, not just the big things, not just, well, I woke up today, because believe me, that's a big thing. There are a lot of people in the world who didn't wake up today. A lot of people who won't wake up tomorrow. So if you wake up tomorrow too, hey, bonus. So not just the big things, but the little things. Again, being able to gift someone with something, being able to graciously receive. Ladies and gentlemen, being able to receive is also gratitude. Because when that friend earlier this week wanted to gift my family, I could have, and believe me, because I'm so accustomed to being the person who takes care of everything, my first instinct was to say, oh, thank you so much. No, don't trouble yourself. And in that process, I stopped mid-thought and I said, you know what, Crystal? If you don't allow this blessing, you're taking away that person's opportunity to be a blessing. And so instead of saying, oh, thank you so much, but you don't have to do that, instead, my response was, it is so appreciated. And when in gratitude, I accept, because it was so appreciated, so very much appreciated. But there have been a number of small things this week, and I am very grateful for those small things, because they have served as the reminder that when you pay attention, when you are intentional about your gratitude practice, when you're intentional about speaking gratitude, noticing those things, and I'm serious about the little things, the beauty of a flower, the beauty of the sunset, the fact that it rains so that the grass can be watered. These small things are an opportunity for you to express your gratitude. When someone sends you a text to check on you and see how you're doing, listen, if someone pops into your mind and you're thinking about them, contact them. Shoot them a text, give them a phone call, send them an email, do whatever it is, send them a message on Facebook, do whatever it is. They're put on your heart for a reason. Reach out to them, because what they may be needing in their life right at that moment is to hear a kind word from someone. And perhaps that someone is you. So, and in those instances, I will say that's an opportunity as well to express your gratitude for being able to say a kind word to someone and maybe make their day. So your gratitude is, you can find things to be grateful for everywhere. You just have to look. Even in all of the chaos, there is always something to be grateful for. And so understanding that role of gratitude in your life, how it shifts your mindset, how it takes you to a place where you're not focused on the negative, but instead you're focused on, maybe it's seeing opportunities. Maybe it's looking for the lesson. Listen, I have learned more through difficult and challenging situations in my life than I have ever learned through successful times. And I put a post up not too long ago that simply said, failure is a much greater teacher than success. Because in the process of your failure, which is not a bad word, just so you know, we fail forward. That's how we learn and grow. In the process of your failure, you learn. You figure out ways that don't work. You figure out ways to do it better. You figure out how to move forward and become successful. And that's all part of the process. So be grateful for the process. Be grateful for the opportunities to learn. Be grateful for the opportunities to fall on your face and get back up, because that builds your resilience. And it makes it that much easier to take the next step. So that role that gratitude plays in your life, I challenge you to give it a bigger role. Give gratitude more purpose in your life, in how you are looking at things. When you have a situation, listen, let's take a breakup, for example. If you You're in a relationship and it goes south. For whatever reason, it goes south. And maybe that's not what you wanted. Maybe that's what the other person wanted. Maybe it wasn't your decision, it was theirs. Find the place of gratitude in that situation. Find the lesson in it. You can be grateful for the fact that the relationship happened. You can be grateful for good memories that come from it. You can be grateful for the lessons learned. There are all different types of ways that you can take any situation, and when you view it through the lens of gratitude, it turns it into something different. And that really, I think, I know that's something that I am constantly striving for. I am always looking for a better way to, I'm always looking for ways to be better myself. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. Not better than anyone else, better than myself, because I'm not in competition with other people. I'm in competition with me. It's not their life, it's mine. And so I'm not in competition with others. I'm up against myself of yesterday to see how I can improve and grow today and be better than that person that I was yesterday. And whether that is in my self-care, whether that's in my gratitude practice, which quite frankly, my gratitude practice is a huge piece of my self-care, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Whether it's in my, in the content that I'm bringing to you guys, whether it's in, new projects that I'm taking on, I'm always looking for ways to do it better, right? I don't believe we ever arrive, right? We never make it. We're never finished, because when we stop growing, my friends, when we stop growing, we start dying. That's just my opinion. It's the way I feel about it. It's the way that I choose to live my life. I choose to continue to be a learner, whether it's in my business, whether it is in, just life in general. I'm constantly looking for new things, new information. Teach me. Doesn't even have to be new information, just be new to me. Historical information. I like history. I think it's awesome. I don't know as nearly as much as I would like to. I've actually kind of considered maybe I'll become a history professor, but then I have to figure out the whole, how do you get paid to be a history professor and who's going to pay me just to research. I'm sure that there's an answer to that. I'm just not quite in a place in my life where I'm ready to go explore that yet, but I find it fascinating. But again, every single situation that you come into, there's an opportunity for you to learn and to grow. And when you have a gratitude mindset, when you're looking for the gratitude in every situation, when you're looking for those things, those lessons, those different things that you can take away that make you better, then you're going to find them. You're going to find them. Even in the worst of situations, you can find something positive to come out of it, whether it's a lesson, so you know not to do something a certain way again, whether it is, maybe it's a new relationship that comes out of it. Maybe, you meet someone new, whether it's a friend, an intimate relationship, a mentor, any of those things. It could be a business partner. You don't know. Some of the most wonderful things come from the most tragic circumstances. But we have to open ourselves up to seeing that. We have to be willing to look for it. And when we find it, we have to be willing to recognize it and acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. So that is one of the things that I really want to drive home for you tonight, is that the role of gratitude in your life can be as big or as small as you choose for it to be. But if you're wanting to increase your happiness, if you're wanting to improve your outlook, if you're wanting to have a more positive stance on life, then you need to allow gratitude to have a much larger role in your life, because it impacts your thought process. And remember, what you think about, you bring about. So if you're not willing to take the time and be intentional about finding the positive, about seeking places where you can be in gratitude, about acknowledging the things that you are grateful for, whether that is in your quiet time, whether it's in your prayer time, whether it's in your meditation time, whether it's writing your affirmations and talking about, things that you are grateful for within the affirmation. No matter how it is that you choose to practice gratitude, the bigger role it has in your life, the more positive impact you're going to have. And there are so many different places where you can find examples of how people's lives have literally turned around because they shifted their mindset and got out of thinking about how bad everything was. And they got out of victim mentality and thinking, oh, woe is me, and oh, everything always happens to me, and oh, I have it so bad, and shifted into looking for things within their life that they could be grateful for. And it usually starts out small. Sometimes that shift really just simply starts out as looking for one thing, and then another, and then another, and then another. And before you know it, it just becomes a habit. It just becomes part of what it is. And when you see things, it's an immediate thought. It's an immediate appreciation for the beauty of the flower, the beauty of the sunset. Those things just start to come. And so I challenge you to, if you are not already in a pretty regular gratitude practice, or if you are a skeptic, I challenge you to try it and see what it does. And then come back and let me know. One of the beautiful things about Mind Shift, and I've got my complimentary discovery call scrolling down here at the bottom, bit.ly/CMe30. I've got that scrolling down on the bottom because as we're talking about gratitude and mind shifts, that is definitely one of the places that I focus on as a personal identity coach, and helping women to see themselves. I promise it's not just a tagline, but really helping women to see themselves and to love themselves. One of the biggest issues that we as women face is that we don't really appreciate ourselves and all the things that we are capable of and all of the value that we bring. It's a very complex and interesting it's a very complex and interesting situation that a lot of women find themselves in, self included. But the beautiful thing is that you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there. And again, I can say that because, well, that was me. I chose not to stay there. And so that's scrolling across the bottom because I extend that offer to you as well, that if that is where you are and that's where you find yourself, you don't have to stay there. You can get on my calendar and sign up for a complimentary discovery call, and we can talk about that and understand where you are, where you want to go, and then what could be the best next steps for you. So I invite you to, it's 30 minutes, it's complimentary, so it's not going to cost you anything. But the link is scrolling right down here at the bottom, bit.ly/CMe30. So if you're interested, you can jump on the calendar and we can have that conversation. And again, wrapping into the role of gratitude in your life, that is one of the things that I talk about in my 90-day self-discovery course, is the role of gratitude and understanding how much impact that really does have in your life. So again, the invitation is there. But I really want for each and every one of you, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching in the replay, I really want for each and every one of you to take a moment and think about where you are in your gratitude practice. Are you just going through life kind of, whatever, I'm here, it's great? Or are you being intentional about where you're going and what you're doing? and making sure that you are sowing into the lives of others. And you are sowing into your own life and really looking for all of the different things there are to be grateful as we walk through it. So I challenge you to reevaluate your gratitude practice, take it out. We are not quite, but just about a full 6 months into a very interesting 2020. That's probably the nicest word I can come up with right now for it. But I got to tell you, even through everything that is going on right now, there are so many places where we can choose to see the positive that's coming, the positive that has come. And so those are the kind of things where I was saying earlier, even in the greatest tragedy, something good can come out of it. We just have to look for it. And we have to recognize it, and we have to acknowledge it. And we have to express our gratitude for it. So if you need help with your gratitude practice, you can always contact me. You can shoot me a DM, leave your comment down here on this video. I'm always happy to help guide that practice because it is so meaningful and it is so impactful for your life. So that is what I've got for you tonight on understanding the role of gratitude in your life. I hope that everyone has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Again, if you're watching this in the replay, go ahead and put down the hashtag replay and tell me where you're watching from. For our friends over on Facebook, make sure that you hit the like button, the little thumbs up so that and the notification so you get a notice when we go live. And for my friends over on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you get a notice when we are live. And until next week, when I see you all again, I am Crystal Fry, a woman's best friend, teaching women to see themselves, love themselves, and transform into themselves, into the women they were created to be. Have a great night, guys.